not know me, my name is Sutra. I am a second year PA student, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what to do during your gap year before you get into PA school. So first, just a little bit of background about me. I graduated undergrad in 2020 and I got into PA school in 2022. So I started applying, honestly, the application process started ever since I graduated, but I actually submitted my CASPA, I think in 2021, and it does take like a year for, it takes a year from when you submit your application to getting into PA school. So technically I took about 2 gap years, and I'm gonna be talking to you guys about some things that I did during my gap year that I thought were helpful, and maybe some things that I didn't do, and now that I'm in PA school, what I think would be beneficial as a person looking to get into PA school, that's been accepted into PA school, that hasn't been accepted into PA school, just different things that you could do during your gap year to make the most of it. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like it so you don't miss when I drop new videos. So first, let's talk about what a gap year is. A gap year is the time from when you graduate undergrad to the time that you get into PA school. Some people do not take a gap year. They apply during their last year of undergrad, so that way once they graduate, they go straight into PA school after the summer. Or you can decide to take a gap year, which is the time in between graduating and when you get into PA school, and you're not in school, you're just in purgatory. Most importantly, I think, is to use the gap year to your benefit and to do the most that you possibly can to boost your application and to make you a more competitive applicant. First, let's talk about patient care experience, because if you've researched PA school, you know you need that patient care experience. A lot of schools, I think the minimum is about 500, but if we're keeping it real, most schools, they're looking for you to have at least 2,000 hours. So definitely try to get 2,000 hours. And your gap year is an excellent time for you to do this. That's what I did. I worked during my last year of undergrad, but I didn't have as much hours as I wanted. So I kept working during my gap year, which I think is great. Certain things that you can do for patient care hours include medical assisting, scribing, clinical research experience, being a CNA, anything where you're actually getting involved with patients. It is a great option. A lot of these patient care experience jobs do require for you to have a certification. You can just look online to see how to get certified. So that's why you definitely want to start patient care hours early on, because they do require certification that can take several months for some of them, depending on which ones you want to do. And there are some that do not require certifications, I don't think scribing does, or even medical assisting, but some medical assistant positions do want you to be certified. But as we know, we live in a world of it's who you know. So if you know anyone that's working in the healthcare field and they have any openings for jobs, ask them and shoot your shot. Apply. Sometimes you can get by without having that certificate as long as you're really good at what you do. So you can use your gap year to get your certification, and then when you get your certification, you can go straight into working. Use your gap year to work, to rack up on those hours, to save some money, because when you get into PA school, it is not recommended that you have a job. So if you're smart with your money, you can save some money so that you can survive and eat good in PA school. And while you're in these jobs, something that I wish I did more of during my gap year is asking more questions to my supervisors, to the other medical professionals there. Ask questions to your nurses, ask questions to PAs if you work with PAs, ask questions to the doctors, medical questions. If you see a case that comes in that's interesting, ask questions, And I feel this is really gonna help you in PA school, because there are a lot of things that we talk about in PA school, and then I know some of my classmates are oh yeah, I've seen that at my job, and I be lost, I don't know what they're talking about, And I feel I have to learn everything fresh in PA school. So definitely take this time to just don't learn material because you're not in school yet, relax, But definitely trigger your mind, get into it a little bit, flirt with medicine, Definitely get yourself more involved in the medical field and just talk to people. You know, it's great for like when you get into school, out of school, jobs when you get out of school. So yeah, definitely make the best of your patient care experience. And you can also use your staff and your supervisors to write you letters of recommendation. So definitely make the most of it. Another thing is you can take the GRE during your gap year, which is again what I did, but I took the GRE very closely after I graduated, which I still think is the best because everything is still kind of fresh in your mind. And something that made me feel better about the GRE, that I'm sure will make you feel better too, is the GRE is technically all like high school material. It's like high school math, high school English. There's nothing that's really like super difficult material wise and knowledge wise. So this should put you like kind of like at ease. I guess the most difficult thing about the GRE is how to answer the questions, and because it's timed, like how to pace yourself. But material wise, it's really not that hard. So don't stress too much about like the GRE. Just try to take it like very soon after you graduate, because everything is still like kind of fresh in your mind, and it's just something that you can like go ahead and get it over with and then focus on everything else. Okay, so next let's talk about shadowing. I think shadowing during your gap year is an excellent idea because while you're in school, it's hard to like shadow, have a job and all these things. So your gap year is a great time for you to start to shadow, kind of like stress-free, and kind of take your shadowing experience again, kind of like how you're taking your patient care experience. Ask questions, try to build relationships, like really try to get the most out of your shadowing. And I would say again, try to get like a couple hundred hours. You don't have to go crazy with the shadowing because it's more of a recommendation for most schools than a requirement. But again, we want to have the strongest application that we can, so definitely try to squeeze in those shadowing hours. And a couple ways that you can find people to shadow is you can ask around, ask your friends and family if they work at any facilities, if there are any physician assistants that are willing to shadow them. If you volunteer at a hospital or anywhere that you work or volunteer, you can find someone to shadow there. For my shadowing experience, I had to go out of town. My friend was working in a dermatology clinic, and I asked her, I was like, are there anyone that would be willing to shadow, or like to shadow? Are there anyone that would be willing to have a shadow? And then she told me like there are a lot of PAs in her facility and they're always accepting like new people to shadow. So I shot my shot, and that's it. I think I got her phone number, the PA's phone number, through my friend. So really, you just have to be bold about it. Like no one is gonna come knock on your door and be like, are you looking for someone to shadow? So you really have to go look for the opportunity. I would say shadowing is one of the main things where like you're really like putting yourself out there, especially now with social media. I feel like you could even go on Instagram and just put like PAC on Instagram, see who pops up, see if there's anyone in your area, and just shoot them a DM. You never know. I feel like PAs, because they know like how hard it is to get into PA school and everything that goes into it, I feel like a lot of them are willing to help. So just get in contact with people. There are also a lot of like group chats that you can join, that there are like PAs in these group chats, and yeah, you can like find someone, ask if anyone is willing to shadow in like a Facebook group or Reddit. All of that is good. Like just really you have to put yourself out. A hot topic during gap years is, do you go back to school? Do you get yourself a master's to make yourself more competitive? Now again, these are my personal opinions, okay? Don't come for me in the comments. I think no. I think you don't need to waste your money getting another master's. Like you don't need to put yourself through that, okay? The only reason I would say it's beneficial to get another master's is if your GPA is extremely low. If your GPA is low, and I'm talking like below like a 3, honestly, I feel like a 3 and up, if it's on the lower end of a 3, it's like you just have to make your application strong elsewhere. But if you have below a 3, yeah, you definitely should, you know, like take some post-bac classes, get yourself a master's. But I will say that the master's GPA does not count towards your undergrad. I believe you get a separate GPA, but if you can get a really good like master's GPA, and just make sure it's in something that is still like science heavy, I think that'll show the committee that, you know, you have what it takes to excel in PA school. You can learn the material and all that good stuff. But other than that, I don't think it's beneficial to take a master's just to boost your applications, like a master's in public health or business administration, unless that's something that you're actually super interested in. If you're interested in it, definitely go for it, like if you have a passion for it. But if you're trying to do it just to make your application look better, from me to you, honey, they don't care. They really don't care, you know. And this is just from what I've heard from admission like committees. It doesn't matter to them as long as you have like good grades, a good GPA. Again, the people that benefit from a master's are those that do not have the grades straight out of undergrad, and then you want to get a master's to boost it up. But besides that, save your time, go to work, save some money, okay? Also is during your gap year, this is a great time for you to take any additional courses that are requirements for school that you did not take yet. And listen, this is actually extremely important. I feel like a lot of people, they think that they can get by. The schools are very strict on this. For example, if you have to take microbiome as a requirement to get into a school, they're not gonna let it slide that you didn't take microbiome, okay? So find a school. It can be a community college, it can be your old school. Just take like a post-bac class. You have to take the course to get in, and the way to figure out what are their requirements is to research, okay? What did I say? Research, okay? So make sure you're researching what are the school's requirements so that you can take those classes if you haven't done so already. And at that point, sis, you already graduated. Just do your best. Try to get like an A, a B. I would say like kind of do it around the same time of the GRE. The earlier the better, because you can just kind of get it out the way and you're still kind of in like school vibes, so it won't be that hard to like take a class right after you graduate. I also think your gap year is a great time for you to do anything that you ever wanted to do but didn't have a chance to do in undergrad. This is your time, like this is a time for you to really step into yourself and to get to know who you are, the things that you're interested in, and to just build your personality and your characteristics and traits. For example, if you've always wanted to travel abroad, now is the time to do so before you get into PA school, because once you're in PA school, you're not gonna have a lot of time to do a lot of the things that you want to do. So if there's anything that is in your deepest desires that you want to do, now is the time to do it, because you literally have the time, you know. So travel abroad, which is what I did, and I do not regret it at all. It is like the most amazing thing that I did like during my gap year, was traveling. Spend time with your friends and family, learn a new hobby. If there's anything that you want to incorporate like into your life, if you want to start going to the gym, now is the time to do it, so that by the time you get into PA school, it's a habit and you're not trying to like add on new things to your life. Take this time to really have fun, you know, because once you get into PA school, things are not fun, okay? It's very not fun. Travel, do things that bring you joy, try to be the best person that you can be, explore new things, explore new hobbies. If you want to start a side hustle, now's the time, you know. Definitely just be creative with your life during your gap year. Okay, now let's say you got into PA school. Ooh, cool. Okay, so, and you're still in your gap year, so they're like,
what do I do? Do I just quit my job? Do I throw my ass on there and watch Netflix? What do I do? Do I go on Tinder?
what do I do with my time? I'm gonna tell you what you do with your time. After I got into PA school, I actually quit my healthcare job because, baby, I had the hours, okay? And then what I did was I got another job, which was like semi-healthcare related, but not really. It was with like health insurance. No, yeah, it was with it was during COVID, so it was like a contact tracer job. It was work from home, so I did that, which doesn't count for patient care experience, but it counts for money in my pocket. So that's what I did. I think that after you get accepted, you can definitely kind of like lay back on the patient care experience. It's already in your application. They already said yes. You're not gonna like backtrack your patient care hours. If you act crazy, they can backtrack, but yeah, they're not gonna backtrack like because of your patient care experience that you stopped doing. So now's the time to do any jobs that you truly just enjoy. You know, it doesn't have to be healthcare related. It can be if you actually do enjoy your job. But my main thing is try to have the most like stress-free environment as possible, because PA school is so high stress that going into it, you want to be calm, cool, and collected, okay? So yeah, if you want to stop your healthcare job and do something else, you can. You can honestly just, like I said, sit on your ass and not do anything, if that's what you want to do as well. But I definitely do think that it is beneficial to still do something with your life. You know, during my gap year, that's when I started my business. I traveled a lot. I met a lot of new people. You know, I really made the best out of my gap year. During your gap year, like, give yourself a schedule. It's probably not going to be the same during PA school, but you don't want to get lost in like the everyday and you just wake up and you don't know what to do with yourself. Like, wake up at a good time. Like, put yourself into a routine, like work out, go to work. If you don't want to work, like, do something, find a hobby, like definitely do something, or just relax, you know, try to have like a stress-free environment to just chill. You got into PA school, everything is gonna be good and dandy. Definitely just do things that you are interested in, because once you get into PA school, it's like the only thing you're interested in is PA school, okay? So definitely take this time to build yourself up, grow your confidence, watch my YouTube videos. I think that is it. Those are the things that I did during my gap year. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I missed. Yeah, honestly, just make the most out of your gap year. And I definitely recommend a gap year. I think you'll be more grateful for it. I think during your interview, you'll have a lot to say because of the things you've done during your gap year. And if there's anything that you guys have done during your gap year or anything that I didn't mention that you've heard about, you can leave me a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful for you. Until next time.